It's Wednesday, November the 27th. From The Economist in London, this is Babbage, a weekly roundup of goings-on in the worlds of science and technology. I'm Tom Standage, the digital editor. This week, Comet Ison has a close encounter with the Sun, a genetic testing service comes under fire from regulators, and Apple buys an Israeli firm that makes motion sensors. On November the 28th, Comet Ison will reach the point in its orbit where it passes closest to the Sun. Ison, which was discovered last year, is a sun-grazing comet, which means it passes very close to the Sun indeed. In fact, it will only be 1.2 million kilometres away from the Sun's surface. Ison is a first-time visitor to the inner solar system, having come from the distant Oort cloud. This means its reserves of ice and dust have not been worn down by repeated trips around the Sun. So if it survives its close encounter, it could put on a spectacular show in the weeks ahead. There have even been suggestions that Comet Ison could become so bright that it might be visible during the day, something that has occasionally happened in the past with other bright comets. But there are also fears that it might be very fragile and might disintegrate altogether. So, will Comet Ison sizzle or fizzle? We'll find out soon. 23andMe, a screening service that helps people understand genetic health risks, has come under fire from the Food and Drug Administration, America's health regulator. In a warning letter made public this week, the FDA told the company to stop selling its personal genome service, based on a $99 saliva testing kit, because it counts as a diagnostic device and lacks the appropriate FDA approval. 23andMe does not sequence genomes, but tests for specific genetic markers associated with cancer, heart disease, and other medical conditions. The FDA says it's worried about the consequences of inaccurate results, and in particular those relating to genes associated with a higher risk of breast cancer. Regulators decided in 2010 that genetic tests sold directly to consumers need regulatory clearance. 23andMe applied for clearance in 2012, but it has yet to be granted. The company, which has been given 15 days to respond, says it's committed to addressing the regulators' concerns. And finally, Apple has acquired PrimeSense, an Israeli company that specializes in 3D motion detection, for a reported price of $350 million. PrimeSense is best known as the company behind the Kinect motion sensor for Microsoft's Xbox 360 games console. But the new version of the Kinect, which works with Microsoft's latest Xbox, launched this month, uses completely different technology from another company. So why has Apple bought PrimeSense? One possibility is that it wants to use its gesture control technology as part of the long-awaited and perhaps even mythical Apple TV. But Apple may in fact be more interested in PrimeSense's new sensor called Capri, which works with mobile phones, allowing them to analyze a scene and identify people, furniture, walls, and the floor. This could be used for indoor mapping, augmented reality, or for gesture control on mobile phones. Apple has a good track record of integrating technologies it acquires into its products pretty quickly, so we may find out as soon as next year. Well, that's all for this week. You can find the Babbage blog at economist.com/blogs/Babbage. In London, this is The Economist.